there's a difference between freedom of speech and hate speech, and there's certain things.
I don't think there is. So I'll let you go on.
Well, okay.
How do you define hate speech?
Calling for genocide of a population.
You see, that's actually incitement. You see, what you're calling hate speech isn't actually hate speech, right? Like calling the incitement of violence is not actually that's actually incitement. That's not allowed, because typically within the leftist ideology, right? Hate speech is basically saying things that are racist, bigoted, and so forth, right? But effectively, it means saying things that offend people, right? Because I can say, I don't like you because of the color of your skin, right? That's referred to as hate speech. I agree with what you're saying.
Well, apparently hate speech right now is using a wrong pronoun.
Yeah, because this is, I always try to get particular.
I come on.
No, but that's the thing. It is like within, because look, you're right and I'm right depending on how you define things. Because if you're defining hate speech based off of what you actually think it means, I agree with you. But most people see hate speech as saying anything that offends, right? Including the use of not calling someone by their right gender pronoun, saying something that's racist and so forth. And that's not actual freedom of speech. You can say that it's wrong to say these things, but classically defined, freedom is free speech does actually include hate speech in terms of saying things that offend people. It's not nice, but it is still freedom of speech.
This is the thing. Like, you can have an argument with someone. Imagine, like, someone goes like, "Well, you're just a dumb, right, dirty, blah blah," and you're just a horrible little slut.
Yes.
It's like, wouldn't that be hate speech? Does that mean
that's mean?
That's just being, that's just being rude and offensive.
Absolutely.
Does that involve throwing someone in jail?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
No,
I think you and I would agree that it's not nice. It's mean.
Yeah, it hurts.
You shouldn't do it in terms of it's not nice to do it. However, and this is the big but, you have the right to do that, meaning that the government should not come into the situation and put you in jail because you said something that's made someone feel sad. Because I don't like it. I know you don't like it.
Oh.
When you get called a racist, right, by simply by simply being white, right? Which, believe it or not, check this out. Recently, I checked this girl on social media that was saying that you guys, when I say you guys, maybe that's a little racist, but I'm talking about white European people, right, shouldn't be coming to the premiere of the new Black Panther movie, right? That should just be left to the black people. And the best way for you to show your solidarity, right, Black Power, is by letting the black people go and watch Black Panther 2 on the first week and not attending. And I'm like, what? And there are people that have that ideology, that viewpoint, and they think it's somewhat offensive, and it's even a form of hate speech for you to call them ridiculous, right? Just because you are a different color. Now, personally, I think that's ridiculous, but that's the kind of nonsense that we're seeing in the world where people are saying things like that, and just by disagreeing with them, you immediately, if you're not the right color, you immediately get called a white supremacist.
Well, you can be racist against anything, and this is the thing. Like, racism exists about white to black, black to white.
100%. As
India,
it's classically defined.
You can have South Koreans and North Koreans being racist against it. It's a racism, and the fact that it's not being acknowledged, that it can involve all spectrums and all races against each other. Like, apparently you can't be racist against white people. It just doesn't exist, but you can. Because look at what happened with World War II.
Oh, 100%. It's just some people are trying to typically the black community, particular social justice community, are trying to redefine the definition of racism. And
racism exists everywhere, and I think it comes down to we just have to accept people for who they are, and it's just really interesting that everyone goes, well, I'm not racist, but you'll hear someone saying I'm not racist, but then they'll talk negatively about a certain type of culture. It's just like, well, isn't that?
Well, sometimes
we're not guilty of it, but maybe everyone is guilty of it in a little way, or they have that thought, like just like saying like and not to be offensive, saying like women or Asians are bad drivers.
Yeah,
look, and that's not true, but we generalize.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's just pattern recognition, like me saying that black people are from West Africa are good sprinters, because statistically speaking, the fastest people it's shown by the Olympics, the World Games and so forth, have typically been people of this race. And you can say negative things, as well as a generalization, like black people can't swim that well. And the truth is, sub-Saharan Africans, they tend to have a higher bone density or something like that, which means that they don't float as much buoyancy, right? And this has been proven many, many times. So statistically speaking, this is why you don't see them, winning the breaststroke and things like that, freestyle. But that's just a generalization. That's pattern recognition. It's not to say that, well, I can't observe reality and make an inference on whether something is generally happening without being called racist. And that's the situation that we're in, because people are so sensitive. They're quick to call you a racist when I know you're a racist. You're not a racist, obviously. It's like, why would you be? It's like, I like racists. Like, I know clearly you don't care about that kind of stuff. In fact, I know plenty of black people that are way more racist than you are, right? But I know you have been called. You told me on one of the podcasts that you were referred to as being racist, simply because of the color of your skin.
Because I went to a protest
about freedom.
About freedom.
How does that? And this is the insanity that we're seeing.